I'm heading on a little trip today. Trying to have a good start to my day with my overnight oats recipe that I showed you last time, which was revolutionary. However, guys, I fucked up. There are 2 or 3 possible reasons for the demise of my overnight oats this morning, and that is I used oat milk. I don't know, is the oat on oat just a bit too much for the overnight oats? And I also did not blend my dates in, but I figured because oat milk is so much more sugary than the almond milk I use that it would all kind of balance out. And I put the vanilla extract in, the sea salt. It tastes so bad. Yeah, heed my warning, blend the medjool dates in the milk. It makes all of the difference. We're going on a trip. We're going on a trip. Hello. You are very welcome to this YouTube safe space. I'm feeling very chill. I've got some candles lighting. I am, however, having quite a chaotic 8 p.m. iced coffee situation. It was out from earlier. I didn't want to waste it. Also, a little bit of a caffeine boost for filming was kind of welcome. Sure, later when I'm lying wide awake in bed and can't sleep, I will be reciting to myself, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. If you are new, welcome. I think there was quite a few people that came over from ELENA'S apartment tour, so if you haven't seen that over on her channel and you want to see the space, please go check it out. She did such an incredible job of editing it together, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Like, there was just no one else I would have rather do like the official apartment tour. Come over from her channel. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? My vlogs usually have a bit more context and meat to them. However, it's been a bit of a weird week. How are we doing? Are we feeling okay? Are we feeling the chaotic energy of like 7 or 8 different planets in retrograde? I have felt this pre-shadow period of Mercury retrograde that's going to be in Libra super hard, and I feel like everyone else has been too, except for Aries. I feel like people with heavy Aries placements have been kind of thriving in the chaos. I hope you enjoyed my little summary of my Austin trip with my mates that I got back from last week, and kind of since then I've been readjusting. I've also just come back from another overnight stay with Teva, the shoe brand, so it's been a bit mad. I like answering questions anytime I have an influx of new followers, because personally I think it's the best way to get a feel for someone's energy and their vibe. And yeah, I kind of just want you guys to take this opportunity to get to know me a little bit. Questions that I feel like a lot of you will find helpful, just life advice, positivity, relationships, all of that good stuff. Ooh, juicy advice please. How to decide between feelings of friendship and more with friends with benefits. Been friends with for years and recently started friends with benefits. Can't decipher if I feel more than friendship love. Okay, so you know him 2 years, you recently have started friends with benefits with him, and now you can't decide whether it's more than friendship love. I think you would know by now if you were super in love with him, and it kind of just sounds like a situationship of convenience. Obviously, when you have a friendship with a guy, it can be a great basis for a relationship and for love. But if you've been kind of doing the friends with benefits for a while, especially with the friendship end and then getting intimacy, like if you don't know once those two things are combined and you're still unsure, been shown the full picture of what it could potentially be and you're still not sure, I think for me there's something missing there. I'm not saying every relationship you're with has to be the one, but I do feel like as women we settle a lot for convenient relationships that are kind of like, okay, this guy is nice and I get on well and we have a bit of a laugh and the sex is okay, and we kind of just stop there. We sort of in the back of our heads are craving like this magic spark that without doubt makes you feel like this is a person I want to be in a relationship with. This is so wonderful, and I don't think you should settle until you feel that way. Living your dream life, please do a video on how you got to where you are. Love hearing people's journey. If you're new on the surface, I know you may see me in this lovely shiny loft and this privileged life that I have, but that is the end result of like 5 years of very focused, very dedicated work to a very non-secure work industry. Sometimes building your dream life requires taking a bit of risk, but I feel like the advice I would give to anyone is anything you put your focus on will grow. I promise you. Tackle one desire at a time instead of doing what I do a lot of the time, which is being very scatterbrained and wanting to do a little bit of everything. I've made the most progress when I focus on one project or one sort of life change at a time. One of my first real big goals after I moved to New York and realizing how expensive it was, my first big goals was I want to be comfortable. I remember saying that to myself so often. I think it was an early form of intention setting for me, was I just want to be comfortable. I want to live in New York and not have to think about every single little purchase and every single little bit of coffee and grocery item that I buy. I want to be comfortable. Even though it was a long slog of a year, I just know in my head all of my intentions were redirecting my actions to get to that point. Like I was taking on extra side hustles and dipping my toes into different things and making money and networking as much as I could. It's a wish that I have for every female following me now is it is possible to be independent. It is possible to build your dream life, whatever that looks like to you right now. There's nothing special about me. If you don't feel like you're in that place right now where you have financial freedom or some kind of personal freedom, you just need the belief that you can have that. And like I said, focus on it, work on it, water it, and you will get there, and you need to believe that you will. What do you do to boost your morale when you get into a low energy mindset instead of giving up? The advice I'm about to give you is literally something I've just come back in from doing today, Saturday, on my day off, but here we are anyway. I feel like my practice today really got me in the mood for talking to you guys. I was socially drained, but also had my period, so I was on a whole nother level of just feeling flat and bluey, and I usually give myself a certain time frame to feel that way, but then I need to start climbing out of the hole. You know, you need to kind of help yourself sometimes. Maybe I'll go more in depth in it in the future or do a whole video about it, but something that works for me 10 out of 10 times is my little ritual that I have of grounding. Grounding every time I'm feeling intense energy or low energy is something that massively helps me. Now, with all of the routines going back to normal, I have to almost prescribe myself to get out twice a week while the weather is still nice. Go plant my feet in the earth. If I'm really feeling really super bad, I'll also try and focus on having grounding foods, which you can Google. But I stick my feet in the grass, my bare feet. Even just sitting at home on the ground is enough to ground yourself. But I'll kind of just sit cross-legged, up straight. I'll breathe into my body. I'll focus on reconnecting and being present, and being also present with my environment. When I'm low energy, I focus on this affirmation of calling back energy into my body. And as I'm saying it, I'm almost picturing the energy flowing back into my body. I'll usually go something along the lines of, I call back my energy from all timelines, dimensions, people, places, and things. And I'll say it a couple of times, like 3 to 5 times, while imagining it. Like, I'll wake up and I will feel so much more in my body. My spirit will feel so much lighter, and I'll just feel like a bit more myself. That kind of energetic work is something that I've been doing a lot lately, and is something that has developed into my practice, and I have found so ridiculously helpful. And also just using my connection to the ground. I usually just love to get my bare feet into the grass. You know, we wear these rubber shoes all the time, which disconnects us from, you know, the electromagnetic frequency of the earth. And to do that and actually also just to feel any bad vibes, any negativity, like imagine yourself transmuting it into the ground and neutralizing it. I always just like to say I'd like to transmute this energy back and asking for it to be neutralized. I find a lot of the time we can have energy cords with people and we don't know that they've been created, or they're non-consensual. I feel like when something is popping into your head a lot, it's because somebody is thinking of you and directing their energy towards you, and it's not always wanted, and it can be really draining. So especially with me being on social media, so once I've called back my energy, I'll kind of ask for assistance to whatever higher power that I'd like to disconnect all energy cords from people that don't have positive intentions for me, or also just anything that's like not with my consent. And I kind of just end my practice now that I've done all of that work with a bit of a protection bubble. Anytime I feel like I need protection, or I feel like I'm going to go into a situation that drains me, I kind of just envision a white light coming out from outside of my head and surrounding my body. And if it's just to contain my own positive energy and to keep it from being drained outwards. Ooh, these are fun ones. I got a couple like this. Tips on long distance relationship and how to keep things spicy and interesting, keep the sexy times alive. I think a lot of you have found yourselves in long distance things at some point or another, especially in the pandemic when no one could like travel and It can be tough though, because not every relationship translates well into a long distance relationship. I feel quite lucky in regards to the one I have now, in that it's very communicative and we can have fun with it and just express. Now, I can't really go too into detail. If I go into too much detail, I'm going to jail. Just kidding, little play on a TikTok meme there. Obviously, I feel like where there's a will, there's a way, people. Definitely look up some Google articles online, but it's something I've had so much fun with in this current long distance relationship. And I feel like if you have mental intimacy, you can make anything work. You can still have a fun and spicy, intimate life even when you're long distance. And it's something you can make fun for the both of you, and I actually think it's such a great opportunity to get into the psyche of your partner sexually and find out what they like, and also communicate what you like, because I think a lot of women have issues doing that when they're actually in the moment with their partners. So it's a great way to like pivot certain physical aspects of your relationship so that when you do get together, it's kind of, again, a bit more suggest things. Like, don't be afraid to like try something new, try something fun if it's on your mind. I don't know, for me, sexual intimacy is very much like, it's a lot, it's like 50 to 60% mental for me. Said the efficacy depends on the dynamic of the relationship, but I do 100% believe from experience that you can 100% keep the spice alive even without the physicality of it. It's just about learning how to tap into a different kind of intimacy. Couple on long distance. The first one was tips on long distance. I'm starting to struggle after 2 years. In my opinion, long distance needs to have an end date. I think mentally the average human just needs a hope point. Like, it does so much for your morale when it comes to long distance relationships, and from my experience, I just know that I need an end game. I need a bit of a plan. And I think, okay, if you're uncertain of where things are going to be in a year, test it out, do it. But I think by the end of like that year, you need to start kind of having those discussions of like, what are our end goals? Like, are we going to move somewhere together? Are you going to come here? Are they going to come? Are you going to go to them? I feel for you, like my past relationship was 10 years long, but 4 to 4.5 years of it was long distance, and it is extremely taxing. And the one thing that I feel like I picked from that experience was that long distance is already so hard. Having that kind of hopeful future that's kind of tangible, your emotions get very drained, and when your emotions start to get drained, you're really kind of treading on a fine line of like, is this going to work or not? You either have to set a date of when something is going to change in the long distance nature of it. Obviously you don't want to force this decision. It has to be a joint, mutual decision that you should be both excited about, or you need to kind of think about having a bit of a break. And it doesn't mean that you won't get back together in the future, but I don't think you should sacrifice your own emotional and physical fulfillment for something that is getting to the point where it's starting to drain you too much and the fun's kind of been sucked out of it. Why does your boyfriend not move to NYC as well? Moving to America is no joke. It is extremely difficult. I have a working visa that is extremely hard to obtain, and especially with all of the travel bans. After I go home for Christmas, he'll be coming back with me for a little bit. He's going to spend the winter here before going on to his next adventure, of which we will be doing a long distance a little bit longer, but he will be on the same continent, which is a start. I'm extremely excited to show him New York. Do you have tips for dating? Don't make yourself quieter, don't take up less space, don't be any less weird. Just come and have the type of conversation that you genuinely enjoy, and don't change yourself for anyone. I think writing down all of the qualities you want from your next partner will help you weed out the ones that are not suitable in the dating game. So please do not settle. Also, just approaching dating the ideal way that you would want to do it. I know in this day and age there's a lot of like ghosting culture and like leading people on and not being honest, play games and to make people wait and who's going to text first and all this bullshit, in my opinion. For example, I really like when people are vulnerable with me, when I can have deep conversations straight off the bat, when I can click with people very quickly, and when people let me know how they feel. So those are the things that I want when I'm getting to know someone. Therefore, that's what I bring to the table, and I often find that that honesty, even if it doesn't work out. I feel like that's often reciprocated, and you cut out a lot of the games, because sometimes people need to be shown that there is other ways of doing things. The main takeaway is, whatever you want out of a relationship or dating or situationship, there is someone out there who's going to match your energy, and don't settle for any less, because they are out there. There is someone that gets you. You don't need to minimize yourself to fit with someone that isn't quite the best match for you. How to let your guard down in a new relationship. I always find that the energy you give out is generally returned. So if you come in all guns blazing with your walls super high and you're a really hard nut to crack, I feel like you're probably going to get that energy back. Super important, and that I even have to remind myself of all the time. A big part of having a really great connection with someone and letting something flourish is to stay out of your own way. As my boyfriend says, it's like his favorite saying. A massive part of me staying out of my own way when getting to know him was recognizing my triggers and recognizing when I was projecting onto him. So I would react in certain ways when something triggered me. I had to kind of either catch myself or either have a discussion with him about why I was feeling triggered, and pretty much every time I realized within myself that I was projecting old experiences onto a new person did not cause that previous experience, and it can, you know, it takes work, but all you have to do is be aware of it. You don't need to suddenly heal all of your trauma or your triggers, but just being simply aware of it and being able to communicate when you're feeling a bit triggered is massively helpful in letting your guard down. Also, hopefully an understanding partner will be more mindful of your triggers, but will also make you feel a bit more secure and provide you with an environment to kind of heal from those things, so it doesn't become like a constant projection. Meet someone new, they are not your old partner, and they deserve that fresh slate. A bit cliche, but I'm still hung up on a boy that treated me shitty. But what more gets me is that he's moved on with a beautiful girl. I wonder what's wrong with me. Thanks for your advice. Oh, guys, have we not watched the Thrive How to Glow Up Energetically video? We're in need of a hype boost. Please go watch that video. I'll have it linked down below so you can watch it after this. But we are beyond this. We are beyond blaming ourselves or like feeling like we're not enough for people that have the boundary and self-awareness to know a relationship is not suitable for them. Men whose self-worth is so on the floor that they're willing to blame themselves for every single failed relationship. And guys, it is not a you problem. If someone doesn't pick you, it is not a you problem. You don't need, there's nothing wrong with you. Everyone has the self-awareness or the experience in what they're looking for in a relationship to be able to call something when it isn't working. Somebody has that and knows what they're looking for in a relationship. That doesn't mean there is something wrong with you because they're able to call it. It just means that they are no longer holding up the queue. You know, they have set you free so that you can find something that works so much better for you than it would have with them. And that is something to be, I think, respected. And yes, your self-esteem may take a little hit. Anyone that feels like this is all rooted in self-worth and self-esteem. And as I mentioned in that How to Thrive video, we do not hand the keys to our validation over to temporary people. That has to come from within ourselves. And the more you grow your self-worth and your self-esteem, the less you'll have that perspective. Almost every blockage we experience in life can be healed with self-love. Everything is rooted in self-love, and this is a perfect example of that. You don't deserve to feel that way after every rejection, unless you'll feel it personally. It is not a personal attack on you or your character or what you have to offer. It's just simply a dodged bullet, and you've got something much better in the pipeline waiting for you, I promise. So can we just make it a thing that people that are not into us is not an attractive trait? I've never been attracted to guys that are not attracted to me. No matter how high or low my confidence levels have been over the years, that is something that is steadfast in me. Like, why would I want something who doesn't want me? Like, I want someone to meet me with the same energy. Just imagine me in your ear, hyping you up. Advice for a breakup whilst living abroad in a pandemic. I did do a video that had a lot of advice on this. There's no easy way to do it. Like, there's always going to be fallout. The fallout from my breakup was absolutely horrendous, and like I'm still like not quite comfortable talking about it, and I never really will go into depths with it because I respect the privacy of my past partner, and you know, I'm very aware that I live my life online, so it's kind of hitting that balance between sharing and respecting people's privacy. But it was traumatic, if I'm being honest. It was so up and down. There's never a right time for a breakup in general. You obviously would hope that you could do it in person and face to face and get that quote unquote closure for both parties. In my personal case, I feel like the distance was actually better for the both of us, even though it was hard in different ways. I think we were both where we needed to be. Okay, I think that's enough of me chatting. I hope you don't mind that I had a bit of a Q&A, low-key vibe. I think you guys are usually pretty down to roll with whatever I throw at you, so I hope you enjoyed spending this time together. And yeah, for any newbies, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you feel like you know me a bit better. Focus on mainly good, positive energy around here. I like to make people feel a bit uplifted after they watch my content, so let's keep that train rolling, guys. I hope you have a really great Monday. I am going to be up very late editing this, but I'm so determined to have something up for Sunday. Thank you for all of the great energy that you send my way through your comments and your just thoughts. I can feel them, I can feel the good vibes, but I'm excited for October. Advice to end on this week is to not be overwhelmed and just focus and water that one thing that you want to grow, whatever it is, intention, a hobby, a passion project. Make it happen, put some energy into it, and yeah, let's see what we can all come up with. And have a wonderful week. Big love. Bye.